Good afternoon, Anne Arundel County. Good afternoon, America. Welcome to Promoting Don't Get Fooled Again with Class. This is our 31st episode. My name is Anthony Bynum, and thank you so much for checking it out. Now, these are very exciting times here in Anne Arundel County. We're going to talk about some of that excitement in just a few minutes. First, though, we have a couple of announcements to make. Let's go to the screen share for this. As a matter of fact, I think what I was supposed to do, let's just go to the screen share for starters. Where's the screen share? Here it is right here. Oh, there it is. Perfect. Next weekend, December 2nd, from 3 to 5, is going to be the annual Ferndale Christmas tree lighting. It's sponsored by the Greater Ferndale Community Civic Association. Go check it out. You can visit with Santa. Looks like there's going to be some live music, crafters and vendors, kids activities, cookies, hot chocolate, and just, some good old fun. So please check that out, okay? I'm going to stop sharing. Next thing I want to mention, we're very, very excited about this here at the Glen Burnie Players. Next week, we have, we're going to be shooting our next special episode. Remember, the last special episode was the Spelling Bee with Dignity and Grace. This one is going to be called Maryland Men of the Cloth. 3 ordained ministers have agreed to be interviewed by me in a roundtable setting. The interview is going to be shot at Rigo Productions. They have a full studio in Annapolis. So we're very, very excited about that shoot. Sometime by the end of the year, we should have that one ready to go. That'll be replacing the Spelling Bee that's currently on air. Oh, which reminds me about something else too. We have an affiliate. Yes, we have a new affiliate. The Amherst Media has agreed to run our show. Don't Get Fooled Again. They're running the special episode, as a matter of fact, the Spelling Bee. It's going to be aired Amherst Media. That's channel 12 in Amherst. So if you live up in Amherst, hey, check it out, right? Check it out. It's going to be at 7 o'clock on Saturday evenings, and we'll keep that slot until we replace that show. So that's very exciting. It's going to run for the first time this week, and I knew there was something else I needed to mention. That's what it was. Okay. Also, a couple weeks ago, about a month and a half ago, in fact, I wrote about the fact that it was time for me to honor my father, who was a Air Force Master Sergeant, career soldier. So they had the Veterans Day Memorial on Veterans Day, and the event is sponsored and controlled by the Lithicum Veterans Memorial, Inc. At the very end of this broadcast, you're going to see the brick that's dedicated to Master Sergeant Bruce Edward Bynum. So just hang on for that, but it'll be at the very end of the episode. Okay. Now, as far as this episode is concerned, first, we want to give credit where credit's due. So as we normally do, we want to give credit to Wikipedia. They have a great source of information. Now, they will use that for both of the main stories we're covering today. But also, we're borrowing from the poets.org also. So that means we're going to be doing a poem. So let's start off with the screen share. Go back to screen share. Where's that little mouse thing? Perfect. And go to here and push that button there. Perfect. Bruce Lee. When you think about the martial arts, you think of Bruce Lee. When you think about the dragon, you think of this man. So let's dive a little bit into the life of Bruce Lee. Born 11/27/1940, he died July 20th, 1973. He was born in San Francisco and thus an American by birth. It just so happened that, and we'll talk about his father and mother in just a second, but his father and mother were on a international opera concert tour and were in San Francisco at the time of his birth. So his father, his name was Lee Ho Chun, and again, he was Cantonese. He was based in Hong Kong. His mother, Grace, had some Eurasian ancestry. This mixed heritage led to a lot of fights for young Bruce Lee, and it became very important, and we'll talk about that in a moment. So Bruce was actually introduced into the film world as a very young little boy through his father, who was well known in certain circles. By the time he was 18 years old, rather, he had done 20 films. So he knew his way around the camera. Now, the martial arts started because, like I said, he was in a lot of street fights. You know, he got a lot of flack, you know what I mean? He wanted to study the arts, but most of the instructors, they just wouldn't touch him for the same reasons. Eventually, though, he had the opportunity to learn under the great Wing Chun, because someone else vouched for Bruce. Now, Bruce Lee was the guy who made martial arts sexy. That's what he did, because they were around for a while, you know. He created the studio in his garage, and he pushed this out on Hollywood. And some young people showed up at his door, to include Chuck Norris. I think we know who that guy is. But also a young Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And there were others. There were many others, because there were a lot of positive aspects to the whole concept of the martial arts. There's plenty, right? I'm no expert, but karate, judo, and there's a bunch more. So next, Hollywood. Now, he tried out for the part of Sulu in Star Trek. He got beaten out by George Takei on that. But he was cast as Kato in the Green Hornet, the trustworthy sidekick. And I was just thinking about this, and it's easy to Google. The fight scene, Green Hornet and Batman, right? So Bruce Lee is fighting it up with the bad guys, who I forget who they were. They might have been a Joker, might have been Penguin. But also he's fighting with Robin too. Robin didn't have anything on Bruce Lee. And he was holding back. But wow, you know what I mean? This guy was an incredible athlete. He was so skilled. He was so skilled. You know, it was the movies that made Bruce Lee. This is the place where the legends were created. Now, he was already known, and he was bankable. He was negotiating from a position of power. This was the first time that an Asian actor had been able to do this in Hollywood. Just an incredible story. He died young. I remember seeing a documentary on this. It was it was like a sudden thing, maybe like I forget exactly what, but he died too young. Definitely too young. I remember being 12, 13 years old. We had a thing, me and my buddies called it OJ Creature Feature. Saturday afternoons. First, you'd have Channel 32, which was UHF. And they had all the, you know, the Kung Fu movies on. Now, Bruce Lee wasn't the only guy making these movies. Okay, there were a lot of people making these movies. But we saw a lot of Bruce Lee. And it's funny, you know, it seems that if you knew how to do Kung Fu or one of the martial arts, you also knew how to fly. We just hadn't seen this stuff on television. It was great stuff, great stuff. And of course, the 56, or the OJ Creature Feature, is because on Channel 56, which I believe was VHF, now that's all cable, obviously nowadays. But then you get the chance to see the movies out of not Hong Kong, but out of Japan. I'm talking Godzilla, Rodan, all those guys. Occasionally get King Kong. I wasn't necessarily a big King Kong guy, but I love Godzilla. Oh yeah, I love Godzilla. So anyway, Bruce Lee, I had to give hats off to a great American. Yes, a great American. We're gonna get ready for the next screenshot. So let me move this forward here. Matter of fact, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and set it up. We're just gonna keep it there. Very good. We're just gonna stay in screenshot. Now, when you're passing through Glen, Burnie, and you see buildings such as this, which is the Empire Towers, or you see the Azar building, You're probably not thinking about who actually controls these, why these buildings are functional, okay? But there's a company. It's called McKinsey and Associates, and they're involved in every aspect of real estate. Now, this firm was founded in 1968 by Clark McKenzie, and the group has 7 firms that are incorporated. They have 225 experienced real estate professionals. That means they're handling every bit of the operations. Maybe it's commercial buildings, maybe it's non-commercial buildings. I don't know everything that they do, but I know they're big. I know they're big. Now, let's talk a little bit about Mr. McKenzie. So Clark McKenzie noted in the early days, he was a building appraiser. And a building caught his eye on York Road in Cockeysville. He liked the architecture. He bought the building, and the guy never looked back. It's a great story about a great businessman and a great business empire, a local business empire, McKenzie and Associates. Okay, we're going to stop sharing at this point. Push the button there. Perfect. Next thing out we want to cover is a poem. Now, we just had Thanksgiving. I know I enjoyed a nice Thanksgiving meal. I actually had 2 of them, but not on the same day. This is the poem. It's called Thanksgiving Day. Now, it was actually written by, the author was a Linda. Yeah, I think it's probably pronounced, it might be pronounced Lyndia, Lydia. Maria Child. She was born February 11th, 1802 in Medford, Massachusetts. I know Medford, Mass. Good buddy of mine many years ago. He was born in Medford, Mass. So let's read this. Over the river and through the wood, to grandfather's house we go. The horse knows the way to carry the sleigh through the white and drifted snow. Over the river and through the wood, oh, how the wind does blow. It stings the toes and bites the nose as over the ground we go. Over the river and through the wood to have a first-rate play. Hear the bells ring, ding-a-ling-a-ling. Hooray for Thanksgiving Day. Over the river and through the wood, trot fast, my dapper gray. Spring over the ground like a hunting hound, for this is Thanksgiving Day. Over the river and through the wood, and straight through the barnyard gate, we seem to go extremely slow. Oh, it's so hard to wait. Over the river and through the wood, now grandmother's cap I spy. Hooray for the fun, is the pudding done? Hooray for a pumpkin pie. Please forgive me, Lydia. But thank you. Thank you so much. There's something else that it's noted on here about Lydia Child. It says here that she was a poet and a novelist best known for her books on domestic life, racial equality, and her work as an abolitionist. She died on October 20th, 1880. So that was a long time ago, the 19th century, beginning of the 19th century. We may have to cover her later. We may just have to cover her later. Some of the things we want to just highlight again. Next weekend, we do the shoot for Maryland Men of the Cloth. We look forward to that one. Very, very excited about that. Saturday, you also have the Ferndale Christmas tree lighting. Please check that out over Senator Wagner Field. And at the very end of these credits, just take a look, okay? So, again, my name is Anthony Bynum. For everyone here at the Glen Burnie Players, until next time, bye-bye.